What's good, brothers and sisters? How y'all doing today? God bless y'all. So today's video topic is my encounter with the reptilian. Now this is a true story. It happened several years ago. I was on an island. Oh, and back when this happened, I never even heard of a reptilian. All right. So I was on an island hanging out with my little brother and one of his friends. We was in the woods and we was smoking pot. Now, for those of y'all that have never smoked pot, I don't want to hear anything about how supposedly the pot made me hallucinate or etc. You're crazy, you know? That's a lie. So don't even comment on my video with that nonsense. So we were smoking pot in the woods on an island, and I look over at my brother's friend, and he locks eyes with me, and his eyes change. They start looking like cat's eyes. And he froze me. I was frozen. I was like paralyzed spiritually. I could not move my body. Kind of like in one of them dreams where you can't move and you can't scream. That's literally what I was going through. I couldn't move, and I couldn't breathe, and I couldn't talk, and I felt like I was having a heart attack. And like I felt like my spirit was being attacked. I felt like my spirit was being attacked. Like my spirit hurt, if that makes any sense. And so I'm terrified at this moment in time. And so I call out to God in Jesus' name, and then all of a sudden I can breathe again, and the attack stops. And so my brother's over here like, what's wrong, you know? And I tell him just to get out of here. I try to tell him to run and leave me there, that something wasn't right, and I wouldn't tell him what, and he refused to leave me. And so, long story short, like, I tried to rationalize everything that went down. I tried to pretend, oh, he probably had some other drugs that he smoked out of his pipe a while ago, and some of the resin got to me, right? But that's not what happened at all, you know? Because my brother didn't go through any of that stuff. Neither did the guy. That's not what happened, you know? But that's what I wanted to believe. And I also tried to pretend, oh, it was just a panic attack, right? It was just a panic attack. But I've had panic attacks before, and that was not a panic attack. And it doesn't explain how his eyes turned to cat's eyes, and his skin, he's a white man, and his skin became dark and scaly during this attack. And so a few years later, I had a dream about reptilians. And after I had this dream, that's when I started to look into this a little bit, do some research. I typed in creatures with cat's eyes and snake skin, right? And crocodile tails. And then the reptilians popped up, and I was like, wow, you know? So I wasn't the only one that's had these experiences with reptilians, and there's a long history of these reptilians. Satan himself, the serpent, is not a snake. He's a reptilian. So I might as well tell you about the dream, right? So in this dream, it looks like a normal day with people walking to and fro down the street, you know, sunny day. And then out of nowhere, a bunch of people stop walking. These people get this weird look on their face, and I don't like it. And they get this little smirk. And they telepathically speak to each other, and I can hear what they're saying. They're saying it's time, but their mouth ain't moving. And once they say it's time, they really get this evil grin. And then first things first, their eyes change to snake eyes. You see, before I looked this up, I called it cat eyes. I didn't know what reptilians was. So their eyes changed to look like snake's eyes. And then their outfits changed. Their skin changed to like reptilian skin, and they grew crocodile-looking tails. And a sword appeared in their hand, like a preternatural sword, super sharp. They were chopping people in half with these swords like it wasn't nothing. Like they were just cutting butter, you know? And so everybody tries to run into this building. Now, if you can imagine this building, you go through the doors, and the only thing in this building is a spiral staircase. There's no rooms, no nothing. There's only a spiral staircase. And you can see this door at the very top of the spiral staircase with light, the brightest light you could possibly imagine. And it's just a white light. And so people are trying to make it into the building, and you've got these reptilians outside that are cutting people, trying to prevent people from going into the building. And then, so this spiral staircase has like iron bars on the railing. And these reptilians is chopping people and cutting people, and they're pushing their swords through the railing and cutting and stabbing people through the rails. And they're doing whatever they can to stop people from getting to the top of the staircase and into the light. And I was the only one that couldn't be hurt by the swords. Probably because I had the armor of God on. I don't know. I can't explain that. And I was taking their swords, and I was killing them with their own swords. And I woke up before I defeated them all and before I made it to the top. So if I was to interpret this dream, I would say that it symbolizes these reptilians trying to prevent people from getting to heaven. So yeah, that's my experience with the reptilian, my real, true experience, and my dream about reptilians that led me into searching and researching about reptilians. One love, peace, and fortitude, brother.